In London, there were two young people named Emma and Jack. Emma was 24 years old. She wanted to be a writer. She wrote stories about her feelings and dreams. She worked in a small cafe called the Cozy Corner. The cafe was a nice place. It had warm lights, soft chairs, and the smell of fresh coffee. Jack was 26 years old. He studied buildings. He wanted to design beautiful buildings in London. Jack also liked to draw. He often went to the Cozy Corner after his classes. He liked to drink tea and draw pictures of the cafe and the people in it. One rainy afternoon, Emma was working in the cafe. She was cleaning the tables and preparing for the end of the day. Outside, the rain fell heavily, and the streets were wet. Emma looked out the window. She saw people running with umbrellas. Some people laughed and some looked unhappy. Then she saw a man outside. He was struggling with his umbrella. The wind was strong, and it turned his umbrella inside out. The man looked frustrated, but he also laughed at the situation. Emma smiled. She felt a kind heart. She wanted to help him. Emma took a spare umbrella from behind the counter. She opened the door and stepped outside. "Hello," she called to the man. "Here, take my umbrella." The man looked surprised. "Really? Thank you. I don't want to take your umbrella," he said. "It is okay," Emma replied. "I have another one. It is nice to help." The man smiled and took the umbrella. "I am Jack," he said. "It is so kind of you to help me." "I am Emma," she said. "Nice to meet you." They stood under the umbrella together. The rain was still falling, but they were warm and dry under the umbrella. They began to talk. Emma asked Jack about his day. Jack told Emma about his studies in architecture. He loved to design buildings that looked beautiful and were good for the environment. "What do you want to write about?" Jack asked Emma. "I want to write stories that touch people's hearts," Emma said. "I find ideas from my life and the lives of others." "That sounds wonderful," Jack said. "I would love to read your stories someday." "I would like that," Emma replied. They talked and laughed as they stood under the umbrella. Time went by quickly. Soon, the rain stopped, and the sun started to come out. "I should go back to the cafe," Emma said. "But can I see you again?" "Yes, I would like that," Jack said, smiling. "Let's meet here at the same time tomorrow." "It's a date," Emma said. They both smiled and waved goodbye. The next day, Emma was excited to see Jack. She finished her work early and waited for him at the Cozy Corner. She thought about their conversation and felt happy. She wondered if they could be friends, or even more than friends. When Jack arrived, he was soaking wet from the rain, but he smiled brightly. "I brought you a treat," he said, holding out a small box. "What is it?" Emma asked, curious. "It is a piece of cake from my favorite bakery. I hope you like it," Jack said. Emma opened the box and saw a delicious-looking chocolate cake. "Wow, thank you, Jack. This looks amazing," she said with excitement. They sat at a small table and enjoyed the cake together. After they finished the cake, they talked about their dreams. Jack told Emma about his passion for architecture. He hoped to design buildings that were eco-friendly. He wanted to help make London a better place. Emma shared her dreams of becoming a published writer. She wanted people to read her stories and feel happiness or inspiration. As the days went by, Emma and Jack met often. They both enjoyed each other's company. Sometimes they met in the cafe, and sometimes they walked in the city. They explored parks, saw beautiful buildings, and had fun discovering new places together. One sunny afternoon, Emma and Jack walked by the River Thames. They enjoyed the fresh air and the beautiful view. Jack stopped and looked at Emma. "I really like spending time with you," he said. "You make me very happy." Emma felt her heart race. "I like spending time with you too," she said. "You are fun and kind." Jack took a deep breath. "I want to tell you something. I like you, Emma. More than a friend." Emma smiled widely. "I feel the same way, Jack. I like you too." They both felt so happy. Jack took Emma's hand, and they continued walking by the river. As the sun began to set, they found a bench and sat down. The sky turned orange and pink, and it was a beautiful sight. Jack looked at Emma and said, "I want to be with you, Emma. I think we make a great team." Emma's heart felt full. "I think so too, Jack. I love the time we spend together." They sat on the bench, enjoying the warm evening air and watching the boats go by on the river. Jack turned to Emma, his eyes shining with happiness. "Would you like to go out for dinner this weekend? I want to take you to a nice restaurant." "I would love that," Emma replied excitedly. The idea of going out on a date made her smile even more. As they planned for the weekend, they talked about their favorite foods and restaurants in the city. Jack suggested a nice Italian place that he loved, and Emma agreed. They both looked forward to their first official date. The days passed, and their relationship blossomed. They continued to support each other's dreams. Emma helped Jack with his architecture projects, offering ideas and encouragement. Jack read Emma's stories and gave her feedback, always lifting her spirits. They enjoyed sharing their lives and passions. On the day of their dinner date, Emma was nervous but excited. She wanted everything to be perfect. She wore a beautiful dress that made her feel special. When Jack arrived to pick her up, he looked sharp in a nice shirt and trousers. "You look amazing," Jack said, looking at Emma with warm eyes. "Thank you, so do you," Emma replied, blushing a little. They walked to the restaurant together, holding hands and chatting happily. The restaurant was cozy, with soft lighting and delicious smells in the air. They ordered pasta and salad, and their conversation flowed easily. They talked about everything: their families, dreams, and funny stories from their childhoods. After dinner, they decided to take a walk along the river. The city was lit up beautifully, and the lights reflected on the water. Emma felt a wave of happiness wash over her, and she smiled at Jack. "This night is so lovely," she said. "Yes, it is," Jack replied, taking her hand in his. They walked closely together, enjoying the moment. As they stood by the river, Jack looked into Emma's eyes. "Can I kiss you?" he asked softly. Emma's heart raced. "Yes," she whispered. Jack leaned in and kissed her gently. It was a sweet and tender moment. Emma felt butterflies in her stomach and a warm feeling in her heart. From that day on, Emma and Jack were officially a couple. They spent more and more time together, exploring the city and enjoying each other's company. They visited museums, parks, and cafes, always discovering something new. They laughed, shared their hopes, and created precious memories together. As the weeks turned into months, their love grew stronger. Emma and Jack celebrated special moments like birthdays and holidays. They encouraged each other in their careers. Jack worked hard on his architecture projects, and Emma focused on her writing. One day, Emma finished a story she had been working on for a long time. Feeling proud, she showed it to Jack. "I finished it. I want you to read it," she said with excitement. Jack read the story and smiled. "It is wonderful, Emma. You have a real talent. I believe people will love it." Emma felt so happy to hear Jack's words. His support meant everything to her. After many happy months together, Jack surprised Emma one evening. He planned a romantic dinner at the same restaurant where they had their first date. He wanted to celebrate their love and the time they had spent together. During the dinner, Jack looked into Emma's eyes and said, "I love you, Emma. You are my best friend and my partner. I want to spend my life with you." Emma felt tears of joy in her eyes. "I love you too, Jack. You make me so happy." After dinner, they walked along the river just like on their first date. Jack stopped and looked serious. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small box. "What is that?" Emma asked, curious. Jack opened the box to reveal a beautiful silver ring. "Emma, will you marry me?" he asked, his voice steady. Emma's heart skipped a beat. "Oh my gosh!" She was surprised and overjoyed. "Yes, yes, I will marry you." Jack slipped the ring onto Emma's finger, both of them smiling widely. They shared another kiss under the stars, feeling like the luckiest people in the world. From that moment on, Emma and Jack began planning their wedding. They felt excited as they talked about their future together. They dreamed of a life full of love, adventure, and happiness in the beautiful city of London. Their love story was a true adventure, filled with beautiful moments, laughter, and memories that they would cherish forever. And as they walked, hand in hand through the streets of London, they knew their journey together was just beginning.